إله إلا الله.
بسم الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، وقال الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. I begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the only deity worthy of worship without any partners unto him. He subhanahu wa ta'ala is the beginning, there is nothing before him. He is the end, there is nothing after him. To him subhanahu wa ta'ala is our ultimate and final return. وَالْأَوَّلُ وَالْآخِرُ وَالْظَاهِرُ وَالْبَاطِنُ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. I further praise and thank Allah Azza wa Jal for sending us the beloved Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and making us among his ummah. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to shower his peace and blessings upon this great Prophet, upon his companions, upon his family, and upon all those who come till the day of Qiyamah believing in him. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. I remind myself and remind all of you that not today except in the state of Islam. I further remind all of us that the best of the speech is the speech of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the Quran. The best of the Kalam is Quran, and the best of the guidance is the guidance through Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Any matters of bid'ah is an innovation in the deen, and every innovation will lead to dalala, which is the misguidance, and every misguidance will lead to Jahannam, the nar. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us from any kind of bid'ah innovations in the matters of the deen. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. That being said, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah Azza wa Jal has revealed a profound verse in the Quran, which he says, قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ خُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, tell, O Prophet, that the worst of the losers, إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا, the worst of the losers among all the losers is the one who lost his family and himself on the day of Qiyamah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ, tell, O Prophet, meaning there is something important, because either they have understood something different, who the loser is, so tell them who the real loser is. Or they don't know who the loser, so tell them who the loser. So we have understood the loser is the one who loses in the dunya, who has lost his business, lost his family, lost his house, lost his job, whoever it is. But Allah says, no. The real loser is the one who comes on the day of Qiyamah. قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. He lost himself, وَأَهْلِيهِمْ, and he lost his family. So, in today's Khuthba, I want to remind myself and remind all of you how to stay away from this loss. Because the one who loses on the day of Qiyamah, meaning he lost his exam, he lost in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us some questions. And this is for sure. And this is haqq. And whoever is not able to answer these questions is going to be a loser. And this Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran. So it is like the question paper is already leaked. What is the question is going to be asked? And the teacher says, I am going to ask you the question. And these are the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Better be prepared. In spite of knowing these questions, and if you fail the exam, that means you are the losers of the losers. That's what Allah Azza wa Jalla says. So if you look in the Quran and the Sunnah, many places Allah Azza wa Jalla and Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says these are the questions that are going to be asked on the day of Qiyamah. So I want to remind myself and remind all of you about those questions. So in this khutbah, in the next 15-20 minutes, if you think in your mind something is very important, $1 million, $1 billion, set that aside. Because what I am going to tell you is the most important thing. Because this is going to decide your fate on the day of Qiyamah. If you think messaging your phone or answering some calls is going to be important today at this time, you are wrong. What I am going to say in 15-20 minutes is not what I am going to say, it's what is in the Quran I am going to say. The most important thing, so listen to this attentively. So I am going to discuss a few questions which is going to be asked on the day of Qiyamah and get us prepared for it. So the first question on the day of Qiyamah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, will be asked about your salah, your prayer. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says on the day of Qiyamah, a person will be asked, the first question will be about his salah. If that question is easy upon him, all other following questions are going to be easy. If that question is going to be, it's going to be difficult, what's the answer, I don't know, let me see my book. If you struggle with that question, the following questions are going to be even tougher. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran in many places has said, Aqimis salah. Aqimis salah tiris dhikri. Allah says, establish your salah so you can remember me. Utulu ma uhiya ilayka min al-kitabi wa aqimis salah. Recite from the book which I have revealed and establish salah. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Because the salah is going to prevent you from fawaish, immorality and indecency, pornography and nudity. All those things salah is going to prevent you. If you pray 5 times salah and in the night when you go to bed you want to watch obscene videos, your salah is not working. If you pray salah all the time, but if you are addicted to pornography, your salah is not working, because Allah has said, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha, the fawaish, the immorality, the salah is going to prevent. So we need to think about our salah. So the question is going to be, how was your salah? How did you pray? Yes, I prayed 5 times, but the prayer, did it have the iqamah salah? Did it mean establishing the salah? What does it mean by establishing the salah? What does it mean by aqimis salah? Well, praying 5 times a day on its time. If you are close to the masjid, praying in jama'ah, praying it with wudu and khushu and focus and khudu and its rules. Not only you, if you are responsible to your family, your wife or husband and children, ensure they also pray. Like you go to a job diligently, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 52 weeks a year, and people work 20, 30, 35, 40 years in the same company. That is establishment. That is establishment. Diligently. You go to school Monday to Friday, 8:30 in the morning. If 7:30 your bus comes, you wake up at 7 o'clock, get ready. You go and attend the classes. You listen to your teachers. You focus on your studies throughout the 10 months. Diligently. That is the establishment. Because you find that after I finishing my school or university, there is a career waiting for me where I can earn money. That kind of a thought should come in your salah, that I am going to pray for Allah Azza wa Jal, then the Jannah is waiting for me. So whether it rains or shines or summer or winter or night, 11 o'clock is Isha or 7 o'clock is Isha or 4:30 is Fajr or 6:30 is the Fajr, you want to miss it. You will come and pray, establish the salah. That is Aqimis salah. We have to make sure this gets into our minds and thoughts. Establishing salah is very important. Because if that we fail, no matter you are a mufassir, you are a hafiz of Quran, you have memorized the Quran, but if you don't establish the salah, that Quran is not going to come and help you. Because the first question is your salah. If you are a research scholar, PhD, everything you have done, but if you fail in salah, that's not going to work. So the first question would be on the salah. And not only that, how was your salah? Whom did you pray to please? Whom did you please in your prayer? You stood in the first saf, but your thoughts were wandering all over the place. You're just wandering. You don't know what. Until the Imam said Assalamu alaikum, you never know which rakah you are in. You pray to please your boss or your father or your would-be father-in-law. You went to masjid to pray to please him. Oh, what a nice boy he is. Whom did you please? It's very important. You wanted to please your friends in school, so you want to pray in Jama'ah, so you want to see, wow, what a boy, what a righteous person he is. To get the applause, whom did you please in your salah? Very important, because Allah says, Allah is Ghani. Ghani means He doesn't need anything, He's free of any need. He doesn't want your leftovers. Let me finish all my work today, I don't have time for my prayer. At the end of the day, before I go to bed, I have time, let me catch up all my salah. Allah doesn't need that. Allah needs your prime time. Whatever the time of salah, Allah wants you to pray. Allah doesn't want you to give your prime time to something else. You give your call of duty to Xbox and forget your call of duty towards Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah doesn't need that salah. Who is your duty towards it? Very important. Allah needs that time 100%. The time of salah comes, you have to pray. Not that you are busy with something else, that means something else is more busy than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah doesn't need, He's free of need, because Allah has got trillions and trillions and trillions of angels in sujood to Him all the time. Right? So the first question is about your salah. Then, the very important question Allah says in the Quran, He will ask is about the Quran. Allah says in the Quran, وَإِنَّهُ لَذِكْرٌ لَكَ وَلِقَوْمِكَ وَسَوْفَ تُسْأَلُونَ. Allah says, O my Prophet, Innahu, certainly this book, Zikrun laka, is a reminder for you, Wali qawmika, and for your qawm, for your nation. وَسَوْفَ تُسْأَلُونَ, and I'm going to question about it. SubhanAllah. This is a great statement which we ignore. Allah says to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this Quran is a reminder for you, O Prophet, not only to you and your entire nation till the day of Qiyamah. And I'm going to ask you about that. Ask each one of us about our Quran. What have we done with our Quran? This Quran came as a reminder. As a reminder, Inna hadi tazkira waman shaa takhadha ila rabbihi sabila. Allah says, certainly this is a reminder. Whoever let him want, take it for his guidance. Allah has said it. How much have we taken the guidance from it? We live in a capitalistic society. We live in a materialistic environment. Every relationship we value with money. Even the parents, we value with your money. As long as the parents give money, as long as they earn pension, as long as they fund me, they are good. The moment they become jobless, they don't earn money, we shun them. Materialistic society. Friendship with money. If there is any benefit, siblings, if there is any benefit, we have stooped so low. Even with the Quran, our relationship is with materialism. If there is any benefit with the Quran, because somebody said, brother, somebody has given an evil eye on you, always recite 3 kul. Then I recite 3 kul. All over body, that's it. That's my relationship. Somebody said, you're having so much problem, debt problem, recite Surah Al-Waqiyah every night, you will be rich. Then I start to recite Surah Al-Waqiyah. Somebody said, you're sick, recite Surah Yasin, you'll be fine. So we take Surah Yasin and recite. Oh, you need protection, evil eyes, recite Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa la ilaha illa huwa. That's it. We don't even know what we read, but we know if I do this, I'm going to get this benefit. This is the relationship we have with our Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not sent this Quran for that relationship. Allah Azza wa Jalla has sent it as a guidance. How you need to lead your life. When your child is born, what you need to do. When you die, what you need to do. When you do business, how you should do your business. When you bury your dead, how you need to bury your dead. When you marry your daughter, how you need to marry your daughter. When you give loan to someone, how you need to document one full page. The longest verse in the Quran, Ayatul Dain, is about the death. It's not about the salah, it's not about the fasting. It's about the Quran. This is the reason Allah said, Utlu ma uhiya ilayka min al-kitab wa aqimis salah. Allah told Rasulullah, recite from the book I gave you. Allah used the word utlu, tilawa. Allah didn't say kara. Read in Arabic means kara means read. Allah didn't use the word kara. He used the word tilawa. Tilawa means with pondering, reciting with ponderance. Recite the Quran. Allah says you disconnect your relationship with your kith and kin. Wait for the punishment. We recite it, we don't care, we break our relationship with my sisters and my brothers, my parents, we don't care. Allah says we recite the verse, وَيْلٌ لِلْكُلِّ مُطَفِّفِينَ. I told this last week also. So many verses Allah said in the Quran how you need to deal with the people. We see the purpose the Quran was revealed not for the purpose of reciting benefit or just reading at the time somebody is dead or somebody is born or giving us a gift. The Quran was a revolution. The Quran was a revolution for those people who were in ignorance. It revolutionized them. Even though they didn't even go to school, they become biggest giants in Islam. Even today the people remember them because the Quran revolutionized them. We have this Quran. What is our relationship with this Quran? We need to think of, because Allah is going to question you. Allah is going to question you on the day of Qiyamah. Allah will never question if you watch Mission Impossible or Barbie. Allah will definitely question did you recite the Quran and ponder over it. How much time you are dedicating on a daily basis for the Quran. When you wake up from the morning till you go to bed, you have time for everything. Everything. Whether you are a student or you are a worker or you are a businessman, you have allocated time for everything. The scholar says the heedless person wakes up in the morning and he thinks, what am I going to get from this world? But a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal, obedient slave, when he wakes up in the morning, he thinks what Allah expects from me today. That's the difference. When you wake up in the morning, you have a schedule. I have an appointment at this time, I have a web meeting at this time, I have to meet this client this time, I have to get this check, I have to go to this library, I have to do this homework, I have to meet this friend. Everything in my schedule, we have to go to this movie, we have to play this game. We have a schedule, everything, every activity. How much of our time is spent on the Quran? How much of our time? That's the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent in the Quran verses for us to ponder on the day of Qiyamah. What does Allah mean by I'm going to question you about the Quran? I gave you the Quran. What did you do with it? How much did you implement in the Quran? Recite and you did the implementation. How much did you make? You made an effort to learn the most complex algorithm, Python, and also this JavaScript and everything, and Angular, and everything you wrote, you mastered. All the technical languages. How much did you master Arabic? You can speak so much of English, so much of Japanese, German language for your career to earn some dollars. Did you put your effort to read Arabic, to understand the Quran which I have sent in? How much effort? Everyone have to wake up and ask this question to our own self. How much effort do we put to understand this Quran? Because Allah Azza wa Jal not only has sent this as a guidance, it's also a cure for our diseases in the heart. It's a cure for diseases in the heart. Diseases in the heart like jealousy, hypocrisy, enmity, stinginess, miserliness, envy, all those diseases Allah has put the cure in the Quran. Recite the Quran every day, morning after Fajr. Recite the Quran for half an hour and see how blessed the day you have. The Quran's blessing. Just put an effort. Put an effort, half an hour every day. Dedicate from your busy schedule. Spend time with the Quran. Interact, because you are directly talking. As I said in the beginning, the best of the speech is the speech of Allah Azza wa Jalla, is the Quran. When you recite the Quran, you are directly in conversation with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah has told you, don't do this, don't lie, don't cheat in the business, give your family the due wealth, respect your parents, don't backbite. All these is Allah is not going to benefit. All these commands Allah is benefiting. Allah is not benefiting. It is we become a better human being by not lying, by not backbiting, by not cheating, by establishing the kinship. We become better human being and respected in a society. It doesn't make any difference to Allah Azza wa Jalla. We need to understand it. And it is our own benefit. We need to recite this Quran. Take this Quran, make a niyyah today that I am going to recite the Quran at least half an hour every day. And coincidentally today, inshallah, the Sheikh was telling that we have a khatam of Quran today in Maghrib. Salatul Maghrib, there is a khatam, the finishing of the Quran. So all of you are encouraged to come, take part in the khatam and in the dua. Inshallah, it will be very blessed. Then moving on, the first question was about Salam. The second was about the Quran. The third one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran is, I am going to definitely ask you, Inna sama wal basara wal fu'ada kullu ulaika kana anhu mas'ula. Certainly you are hearing, you are seeing, you are understanding, I am going to ask you. SubhanAllah. All these faculties Allah has given us. This is in the Quran, verse in the Quran. Till the day of Qiyamah is going to be there. Allah says, I am going to ask you about your hearing. The first thing is hearing. And your seeing, and your understanding, your intellect. Every one of us sitting here have some speciality. Somebody can hear very minute voice, somebody can see very sharply, somebody has got a better intellect. Allah is going to ask you, how did you use it? Did you use this intellect, this faculty which I have given to identify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or to just please your faculties by hearing the music I am pleasing, by listening to Sheik and Kanye West, I am so happy, or by seeing the obscene movies and haram, my eyes are pleased, or I have used my intellect to excel in this dunya, to master all the sciences and become a billionaire. Why? What did you use with these intellect, with these faculties that Allah has given? How did we use them? Are we amazed with the self-driving car? Wow, what a self-driving car drives itself. Wow, what a technology. Oh, artificial intelligence, the machines learning by themselves, and soon they are going to replace you. Are you amazed with this technology, or are you amazed with Allah Azza wa Jalla who has created you to make this technology? What are we amazed with? Whom are we praising? Whom are we praising? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the free of praiseworthy is the one who took his slave from Makkah to Baitul Muqaddis overnight, when there was no flights, and he went to the heavens, 7 heavens, and came back. And Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha says, the bed from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was still warm. When he woke up, when he went and came back, still it was warm. Few minutes or half an hour, 40 minutes, Allah took him to the Baitul Muqaddis, Jerusalem, then all the way to the 7 heavens, and came back. When there is no supersonic jets or speed of light mechanisms, nothing. Are we amazed with that? Or these are all old time stories? Who can believe these are all stories? Let's talk reality, let's talk logic, man. What are we amazed with? Where we use our intellect, where we use our hearing and seeing, we see so much of amusements and we please our eyes. We want to go and all around the world and see the scenes of the beauties and haram and everything, and watch the movies and games, or are we using our eyes to see these signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When you walk out, you see the sky. Allah said, I have created the skies, heavens without a pillar. Don't you think I am going to raise you back? Is it not easy for me? Do you think you are going to escape from me? Don't you know I created this entire universe without a pillar? We see the telephone bill and the cell phone bill. We are so amused to see that every call is recorded from which place to which place, how many minutes, when, date and time. Wow, what a technology. It tracks everything. But Allah Azza wa Jalla says, I have put two angels on you. Kiraman katibina ya'lamuna ma taf'alun. They know exactly what you do. Every second of your life. They record everything. And will present it to us on the day of Qiyamah, Allah says. Mali hadal kitab. I will say, what book is this? La yughadiru saghiratan wa la kabiratan illa ahsaha. Everything, not even a small thing I did is left out from this book. Are we amazed about this or not? Do we think that's going to happen? Our intellect tells this is going to happen, this or not, because our intellect makes us believe what we see in the telephone bill is right. But the same intellect doesn't trigger us to think my actions and my call is getting recorded every time. Whether I lie or cheat, all actions are noted down and it's going to be presented to me on the day of Qiyamah. How did I use my intellect, my hearing and my seeing and my understanding of this? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla says also this in the Quran, that when the people of the Jahannam, the hellfire, are pushed into hellfire, brought near to the hellfire, the angels will ask, Alam ya'tikum nadir? Didn't you get warners, Habibi? My friend, didn't you get warners warning you about this day? Did the Quran come and tell you, if you disobey or if you do these things, you will be entering the hellfire? They will say, Qalu law kunna nasma'u aw na'qilu ma kunna fi ashabis sayyid. Had we listened and had we understood, we won't be here at this time. That's the biggest regret a person will have on the day of Qiyamah. Because in the dunya, the 60, 70, 80 years Allah had given him, he didn't use his intellect. He didn't use his eyes the way Allah wanted him to see. The animals also see, the dogs see, the cat sees both sides and crosses the road. If we do the same, there's no difference. Allah wants us to see something different. The animals hear too. They hear the sound, they immediately run away. Allah doesn't want us to have the same hearing. Something different. When you hear the Quran, reflect. Think about it. What Allah wants me to do for this? Because Allah has clearly given the questions. I am going to ask Bibi, I'm going to ask you this question. And I have given you 60, 70 years. Your life is 70 years, 69 years, 11 months and 29 days. You finished in disobedience the last day. You say, Ya Rab, forgive me, Ya Rab. Allah said, Naam, Ya Bibi, I am here to forgive you. Subhanallah. This is the Rabb we have. He has given the questions, He has given the time, and He is ready to forgive. What are you waiting for? Use of your intellect, use your hearing, use your seeing to see what Allah wants us to see. To not see what Allah has prohibited us to see. To hear what Allah wants us to hear and stop hearing what Allah wants us to stop hearing. The music is haram. You see the car, we have music and jumping all the time. The music is playing. Muslims with beard, behaving weirdly in the car with the music. You see in the concerts, Muslims dancing to the tunes. Shaitanic. Allah doesn't create our ears. Allah did not give us the ears for this. Allah gave us the ears to hear the Quran and reflect. The hearing and the seeing is the sources to capture, and the intellect is the processing machine Allah has given us to think, to identify your Rabb before it's too late. The next question is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask, La tus'alunna. And Allah says, I'm going to ask you all the blessings that Allah has given you. All the blessings. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. I am going to ask you on the day, this is the words of Allah Azza wa Jalla. I am going to ask you on the day about all the blessings that I have given you. Your children. Biggest blessing. Those who are parents. What did you make of your children? What did you do with your children, Habib? What did you do? You made him a gangster? I gave him a good boy. You made him a gangster and a street fighter. Trafficking drugs. What did you make out of him? I gave you a girl. You made a demon out of her. What did you do with the boys and the girls I gave you? She doesn't know he's a boy or a girl. She doesn't know she's a girl or a boy. Is this why I gave you? What did you do with them? They are experts in reading everything, but the Quran, they don't know who is Allah. I don't know. Clueless. Who is Allah? Clueless. Who is Muhammad Rasulullah? Clueless. They don't know. But they know Beyonce, they know Rihanna, they know all Jake and Kanye, everybody they know. The players and all the superstars of the basketball and everything they know. They know Marvel characters, Spider-Man, Superman, all those men, they know Iceman. But they don't know who the Sahabas. What did you make out of the children? I gave you the boys and the girls. You took them to the first show movie, and the movie is released. Did you take them to the masjid? Did you bring to the masjid? What did you do with them? The greatest blessing Allah had given us the children. What did you do with the children? قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ نَارًا. The biggest loser is the one who lost himself and his children. The children will turn enemy to you on the day of Qiyamah. Ya Rab, my father, my mother, they didn't took me to the masjid, Ya Rab. My brother, he went to the masjid, he didn't care about me. This we need to avoid. This is the greatest blessing we have. We have the other blessings Allah has given you, the house and health. Health, Allah has given us great health. How did you use the health? Allah has given wealth to people. How did you use your wealth? To show off, to put others down. What did you do with your wealth? You want to show that you are powerful? Or you helped the poor to come up? I gave you knowledge, what did you do? What did you do with that? I gave you excellence in certain, everybody sitting here has got some special skills to themselves. They are better in that skill compared to others. Something. What did you do with it? First thing, did you do shukr to Allah? Did you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did you thank? First thing. When you wake up in the morning, you are able to move your finger. If you are able to go to the washroom and free yourself and come back, greatest ni'mah, because millions of people are in the hospital not able to do that. Allah has given us that help. What did you do with that? Did you wake up and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to Salam, Fajr, and pray to Him and thank Him for giving you that help over others? You need to ponder. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم الله أكبر. Bismillah, salatu salam ala Rasulillah. Finally, there is one more. I'm just already ran out of time. I apologize. I'm sorry if I'm holding you back, but this is something very important, as I said, because these are the questions Allah Himself has said in the Quran. I'm going to ask you. So you need to be aware of this. And finally, Allah says, whatever actions you do, I'm going to ask you. It's broad, all the actions. I'm going to ask you about all the actions that you have done. Everything. From your birth, when you got your conscience, maybe 13, 14 years, till you died. Whatever actions. I don't want to expand on this, but this question Allah is definitely going to ask, how did you, what are the actions you did? To explain this, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, there will be 5 questions will be asked as an explanation to this verse. Allah says, I'm going to ask you about your actions. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, the life I gave you, how did you spend? The obedience of Allah or disobedience? The youth, particularly, I see a lot of youth here. The youthful time, 14 years over 35, 38, 40 years. How did you spend? Playing Call of Duty or attending to the duty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What did you do? How did you spend? Watching Mission Impossible or coming to the mission of the masjid? How did you spend your life? Very important. You need to think about it. Allah says, and Rasulullah says, Allah will ask, I gave you wealth, how did you spend it? And how did you earn your wealth? And finally, I gave you knowledge, how did you spend it? So these 5 things summarizes by Allah's words. I will ask you about all your actions. So my brothers and sisters in Islam, so first question is about the salah. Make sure you make an intention, whatever life you have spent so far in needlessness is fine. Switch the gears, make an intention, I'm going to establish salah in my life. Because I want to pass this test in Allah with Allah Azza wa Jalla on the day of Qiyamah. Establish the salah. Establish the relationship with the Quran. Allah sent this Quran as a guidance. Take it. Take the guidance before it is too late. All the blessings that Allah has given us, be thankful. Be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings that He has given us. And all the actions, be careful that what happens in the actions according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance in the Quran, our actions. Whatever Allah has said, we will do. Whatever Allah has prohibited, we will stay away. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. اللهم أرنا حقا حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، اللهم أرنا باطلا باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات، اللهم آت قلوبنا، اللهم اهد قلوبنا، اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا، اللهم اشف مريضنا، اللهم ارحم موتانا، اللهم عاف مبتلانا، سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، سلام على المرسلين وأقم الصلاة. As I said, in the evening today, the Maghrib is Salat, the Khatm of Quran is make sure